Origen backs against the walls. They need to make this one count.
I think we need to see the gangplank here. And just kill Faker. Plain and simple. We kill the Faker, and then we move on.
Down 0-2. They've got the support. They need to rally now. I've seen my fair share of reverse sweeps.
You guys are experts on this matter. I don't know anything about reverse sweeps whatsoever. Never experienced
I feel the
one.
Cloud9 vibe flowing through Origen right now.
High rips off his jersey. Fills in for xPeke.
I like the Kench ban.
Loses
Right.
the game
So
anyways.
Rek'Sai, Mordekaiser,
Mithy, both up.
Gangplank.
Yeah, SKT banning out Mordekaiser. This is what we've seen very often. 2 target bans,
Guessing
1
you wanna
OP
give us
away.
GP.
We'll take Gangplank.
So they give him Rek'Sai. Usually the pick and ban start very similar to how they did over in game 1, but this time around Origen doesn't have those target bans against champs like Azir they had before, so those champs are up for the second round for SKT. It's not a great champion for xPeke. Meanwhile, the Tahm Kench that went early first round, that one's gone now.
Now looking at amazing choices for jungle though, it is pretty difficult because Evelyn has been his next go-to, but Evelyn into Rek'Sai is so annoying because of Tremor Sense. You lose out on a lot of the advantages that she does bring towards the mid game and the late game, trying to move around for flanks. You can almost never get a flank off. You can almost never get the surprise off.
I like what Origen's hovering right here, picking the Lulu, which you need to. You can't afford not to. This is one of the compositions they actually did the best on protecting Niels. It also fits well into, you can let Lulu slightly lose against MaRin in the top lane. You steal away the Alistar, and the Tahm Kench is already banned, so pressure on SKT, and more importantly, you hide your jungler until the next rotation, and maybe you can get something nice out of there.
Niels has been such a huge star for this team. I like what Origen is doing. Like you said, playing around him, getting Lulu to buff him up. Put all their eggs in that basket and see if Niels can outplay.
And as the analyst has mentioned, counter-picking against Faker. This Lulu is a flex, so Origen can wait to that last spot to realize, does it go to Soaz? Does it go to xPeke? And making sure these matchups look correct here. Origen can pick jungle and AD carry next. SKT looking to steal away that Tristana, and with Tahm Kench gone, right back to Shen.
2 global moves already for SKT. So Origen, when you have a Lulu on your team, you want to group up, you want to get the team fight, you want to be able to buff up the other members of your team and go for the 5-on-5 team fight. SKT already have multiple tools to move around the map and try and continue to play with multiple points of pressure.
And they steal away the Tristana, which means usually a team that runs a Lulu composition against a AD carry, hyper carry, ends up opting in for the Jinx, and they already have really good answers to that, you know, with the Taunt Flash, with the burrows. So maybe Origen will have to stray from the strategy and try something else.
Yeah, plus if they are pulling Origen around the map, Tristana will quickly take down those turrets, and SKT will look to rake in that money.
I want to see Lee Sin come out amazing. Just get some forward pressure, some engage, some creative gank paths, because you can go over walls and surprise your enemy, because so far, every single time Bengi has been reading amazing overall. He's not been able to find any ganks. SKT has been doing well, dodging most of them, and the most of the ganks that works is when he goes over the walls and surprises people with his pathing.
And Origen gonna go ahead and stack up some wave clear. Lulu in the solo lane, Sivir off onto one of the sides. The Lee Sin does come through here. So Origen hoping to withstand the early pressure, but their late game is really not here right now. I don't know what they're gonna pick up to make that all work.
I don't think you even draft an insurance policy for late game. I think you go all in for mid game for Origen. Try and hit that mid game spike of 2 items, Sivir, buffed up with Lulu. Go for the playmaking with Alistar and Lee Sin.
I think we'll see Lulu mid and maybe a Darius or Fiora top lane here, overall here, coming out of Soaz in the end. Just trying to snowball top lane, play wave clear, because you only played it, if you lock in double wave clear mid and bot, generally indicates that you want to get a top lane carry out of there.
Oh, well, you said maybe cash in on early mid-game leads, but Rumble is one of the kings of early game. From that top side, winning team fights whenever you want with Equalizer, but it is offset by Faker,
Ryze
having a hard scaling Ryze.
Ryze can also be dove by Alistar fairly early on. Ryze is fairly squishy, doesn't have any dashes either, so if the bottom lane can make some sort of play, I mean, on these 2 champions, it was amazing and Mithy, who were able to come up with solo kills versus NL.
So a whimsied Lee Sin or a whimsied Alistar, certainly good ways to get a fight started if that is indeed mid lane Lulu here. The hovers now for Origen. They know Soaz up against MaRin, and finally, it's a matchup that I think Origen can come into and think they can win the one-on-one. Rumble not known for his 1v1, the 1-4 sort of setup for SKT, not as good with Rumble here, so Origen, can they break the map open?
Yeah, they need to break the mold though, because right now they're opting into a composition that requires them to play around the top side, and every single game, they kind of default back into the play around Niels style. Even if they briefly play around Soaz for a while, they really need to get that snowball going. Soaz now with the Gnar pick, picking for a phenomenal split push lane. One of the strongest split pushers in the game because he can really control the distance he keeps his enemies at.
Also a decent team fighter though, of course, Gnar. So a well-rounded pick for Soaz here, and Origen have some playmaking. They have a lot of gank pressure from a lot of these different lanes, a lot of movement speed, and then it can come together into the 5-on-5. SKT though, have such a suite of powerful champions. The damage output here from Rumble, Ryze, Trist is a lot.
Pretty long curve though. They have a really big spike early with the Rumble level 6, but if you thwart that Rumble and you can keep him down in the lane, then SKT become very late game focused in their composition, and we may see a different Origen proactive in the mid game. Get an advantage, especially amazing on that Lee Sin again.
That's definitely going to be the key point for Origen. Can Amazing create some early game action with Lee Sin? Bengi will be lurking around with Tremor Sense, so they have a wide area to look for Amazing's position and set up for counter ganks. So you have to be very careful when playing against Rek'Sai, especially in the mid game where she gets an advantage with her ultimate, getting right back out onto the map.
There's this tiny window where Lee Sin hits level 6 and the support is sitting on level 4 or 5, especially if Wolf is playing Shen. That's when Amazing has to strike, get a gank behind, kick somebody in the lane before Stand United becomes available, and then try and snowball on that.
Snowball
advantage.
the Sivir lane.
We'll see if the Sivir lane can be snowballed, and if you guys at home think it's gonna happen, if you think the ganks can originate from Amazing, then tweet #OG win. Or if SKT makes it 12-0 and heads into their second final here at the World Championship, it's #SKT win. Here we go, everybody. Game 3 here in Brussels. Who's going to the final?
I am.
Me too.
Yeah, cool. You coming, Kobe?
I mean, both of these teams could very well go.
Who's playing in the final? None of us. The home crowd
says
certainly-
Origen.
Crowd would like it to be the case.
Or RT or SKGen is going to win this game, according to the crowd.
Niels says Origen.
All right, I want to see this. I want to see SKT make the same mistake, so at least we see it once. Don't want to see it punished where they leave their top side Gromp double jungle exposed to a delayed invade. So at least next to be like, I'm right. Because early ward came out here, I believe from MaRin in the top lane.
SKT showing a few different things. Niels does get the reset. Well played. But when that second one comes down, that will reveal if there's a Gromp start. Sivir Alistar, one of the very worst duos at taking Gromp. We'll see if that ends up being their start here. Every game has actually started with Origen having a very good level 1, whether a first blood or a 3 buff in the same game actually, or just being on the right side of the map at the start. SKT looks to not be allowing that this time around. So as an Amazing going to be double jungling their red buff, or maybe the Krugs.
SKT
looking to stop the Gromp
looking to
there,
stop, but they're going to walk into a ward. That's risky. They have no trinket ward available anymore. And again, look at the river where SKT is doing that Gromp right now. They technically could get delayed invaded upon by Amazing, and Soaz here. Go for a kill, get the Gromp away. So they're somewhat greedy in the trinket usage.
I do like what Niels and Mithy did there. Just even though they knew there was a ward on Gromp, they just stayed around it so that Bang and Wolf couldn't go grab a small minion somewhere else. And it's going to be even lanes, standard setup here. Taunt does miss.
Wow. But already Bang getting a giant chunk out of Niels. Stun doesn't mean a whole lot against Chen, who can heal himself.
But they're fighting an Origen minion wave here. The Origen caster minions were attacking SKT members.
This is one of the reasons.
Lightly got ahead there.
One of the reasons that you want the Shen to not do a camp and just stop them so you can skill taunt early instead of the Q and just go for aggressive trades. As long as you trade on the AD carry, you're always in favor. Obviously, taunt doesn't connect, and then they really use the minions well in their advantage on Origen side, but they're still being zoned off here.
Level 2 first. Bang doing a great job of pushing in already. Rocket jump has been skilled. Meanwhile, MaRin versus Soaz up in the top lane. Soaz already level 2, but only with 3 CS.
Oh, didn't get it. No hyper.
No hop. Nothing gained up. Niels and Mithy find level 2. Will he learn heal? Looks like he learned headbutt instead because no heals are coming out of Mithy right now.
Probably is hovering on the point. Mithy likes keeping
Yeah,
that point hovered until somebody expects you to take heal. You see Bang and Wolf, they will play with respect up until the point they see the first heal come out. And right now they just want to poke down. Mithy did get a surprise kill on Alistar before, skilling a random headbutt there on level 2.
Bengi is also slightly ahead of Amazing as far as camps, and he's going to end up bottom, whereas Amazing is going top side. So Amazing is going to go with top lane focus this time around.
And they ping the ward.
They ping the ward.
Amazing knows where the vision is, but the question is how much can you really have happen?
He has Trinket Ward available, so he can pull a Safeguard Trinket Ward.
So as jumps in, lands a slow.
Really early though.
And nothing happens at all. MaRin playing with proper respect and knowing Bengi's in the bot side.
He knows something is up right now. He knows his jungler is in the bottom side of the map. They can roughly deduce where Amazing started, and more importantly, never will a Gnar randomly hop in front of you in that lane. It's a sick mind game if it works, but there's no other place on the map either where Amazing could gank. That's the problem right now for
especially in a matchup like Gnar versus Rumble, which is so swingy. It's very snowbally. If you do get behind and Gnar can get to the Hex Drinker early, you can punish. Otherwise,
Wolf with some Fog and War play, leaving Bang 1v2 in the lane, just imitating a roam here, just putting some pressure. You don't necessarily see what that causes, but that causes xPeke to just play slightly more passive in the mid lane whenever that gets called, until he shows back into the lane.
And look at Bengi.
Is going to turn mini and have to play very safe now.
Evil by him. Slow's not quite going to land for MaRin, but Bengi can look for the knockup. Will he burn flash for it? Yes, he will! And that's first blood just like that for SKT.
As soon as you get smited with the Chilling Smite, you got a flash there for Soaz.
And Bengi just tells MaRin to hang on, waits a little, drops a pink ward immediately, knows he's not spotted, knows he can go for that play. And then you can see the player cam already on Soaz there, just almost facepalming, so like not going too great. Now he has to use his teleport, get back to the lane, and that initial gank from Amazing was so important. They had to stick or do some pressure at least.
Amazing, meanwhile, trying to counter jungle on the bottom side, but he will get spotted out by Faker.
Just used his ward too.
Okay, Ghost Pop. Faker takes the Q. Peke's nearby. Could use help pick some Glitterlands to do some damage. Faker loses Ghost for nothing. Turns out all right for Amazing, but Bengi's slinking around to the side. He's gonna know Amazing is right there fighting the Raptors. Of course, Bengi is flashless, but Faker's in range. Good ward hop. Amazing's okay. Bookkeeping right now, but it's a small lead for SKT. The first blood putting them ahead. Nice taunt onto Mithy. Good chunk of damage here.
They concentrate back, not into a full minion wave. Niels getting some mana here for wave clear. Now look at the base though. If you see 47 CS on Niels, that means one more wave and then he can get a BF sword. That's why they're just taking some damage, just trying to push it as aggressively as they can.
Yeah, he wants that cannon.
Yeah.
Got it.
55 CS is the mark of a BF sword.
Look at Bengi though, he's circling down around bottom side now. Another short taunt.
Ooh, good chunk on a Bang though. Of course, he's going to recall himself pretty soon. Bang's only one wave away from getting it.
Gotta be careful. I mean, going for these greedy trades or just trying to poke Niels low enough for him to stay, that could turn into a 2v3 really quickly.
It's actually a fairly risky invade there for Bengi. I don't think they saw Amazing up top side again. But he is able to get off the prompt counter jungle there.
And Bengi's really just running circles around Amazing. This is at least his second Scuttle Crab kill. He's already got a first blood and is still tied in farm right there. So great play by Bengi so far.
Look at your minimap. Niels wanted to get one more wave because he didn't want to sit on a single BF versus BF. He wanted to push one more wave in the bottom, but Wolf pathed into the bot lane, cancelled Niels' base, and now Niels is behind on the play, even though Origen bot lane were winning 2v2, so really good cancel there from Wolf.
Could mean a lot of tower damage with Tristana coming back with her BF sword.
And Mithy already leaving too. He's going to support xPeke. Probably wants to drop a couple of wards there on either side.
Soaz looking for the play though. He's close to Gnar, is level 6 as well. MaRin just takes a chunk of damage. Now there is a difference in potions. Bang has 1 to the roughly 4 of Niels. That might not mean much though.
OG's looking for a top lane dive. Mithy's pathing all the way to the top lane with no boots whatsoever. Sitting on Sidestone, went from bottom lane all the way to top try right now. They're looking to counter gank. This could be big.
And the Gnar is traded with the equalizer. The wave goes away and Bengi's already coming. Soaz Does not have to worry about Bengi's flash just
flash.
yet. Nice flash to stay alive, and now here's the team. Soaz will survive this. Now who's gonna get picked off? Amazing down to half. A great flash by MaRin. A pulverize will land on a Bengi. The smite as well. There's not a lot of moves to be made, and Amazing lands it. A resonating strike for a kill. Game back to tie.
Down bottom, let's see if Niels can handle himself alone. SKT know that he is by himself.
MaRin
He
has
has to clear this
teleport.
wave.
He can't let the wave get into the tower.
He has to clear this here, and he's gonna allow
He's
it to
trapped.
push forward. And now Wolf can walk in. There is a minion wave. How good is his spell shield against the taunt? There's enough that nothing happens.
All right, Niels is able to pull it off.
And this is mostly because Faker is running Ghost Flash, so the teleport that Peke has, he could have done that. It couldn't get cancelled. Faker was not in range, so the teleport from MaRin could be matched there by Peke, and here we see Amazing. Level 6.
So the play won't quite find MaRin. And as I think about that play on the bottom side, I think it was Wolf trying to force Peke's TP, trying to scare Niels, saying, I need someone, I need someone. But everyone properly reserved, no big pickups there.
But that move, so much invested into that move. If Mithy didn't get any assist there, it would have cost them so much. But he arrived right in time. He actually read beautifully what SKT was setting up. So Origen with, a really good shot call there. Having the support roam from bot to top with no boots, that is a ballsy call.
It's definitely bold, but as Alistar, it pays off. So kind of jungling for Bengi though.
Soaz is also earning himself a CS lead now in the top lane while he's pushing this minion wave. But MaRin's got a big wave that he can pull back pretty soon here.
We're gonna see Bengi just running away, going of course for the standard Cinder Hulk on that Rek'Sai, but Amazing really trying to make the early game work. We talked about how they can't wait for Ryze to come online, so a Warrior Enchant Lee Sin.
Yeah, and then on top of that, Soaz actually parting from the traditional Gnar builds that we've seen so far, mostly because they haven't played into any Rumbles. Usually early Frozen Mallet, early Black Cleaver, but Soaz going for a Hexdrinker, avoiding that all-in for MaRin, and then having enough damage to kill him afterwards. So
yeah, Hexdrinker is crucial in this matchup. Got to get some magic resist versus the spell penetration early Rumble there.
MaRin's just rushing for that Leandri's Torment though. Blasting Wand already there, has First Blood, has 72 CS. This is a very scary Rumble.
yeah, Origen just opting into more power to skipping the Aver's Blade just to get another pickaxe, more trading potential, so they want to put pressure on these matchups, hopefully put enough pressure that they can break. Bengi though,
He got pinged out. They did see him. Soaz has to be careful here going for that ward.
Bengi will clear off the ward, takes a chunk of health, and he's got to be careful. The Dawkins zone's come through.
that's a lot of
Pop by
damage.
Soaz, takes a lot of pain for that. Nearly popped the Hexdrinker. If that did get popped, that cooldown could have meant to dive. But I think the shield will be enough to deter SKT for now. Of course, MaRin does have the ultimate.
And Origen can't afford to go top again because Shen can always match their gank, so they really want to gank the Shen lane first, take that tower at least, force the ulti perhaps, get something done there. Meanwhile in the mid lane, Faker has been starting to push in xPeke on that Ryze. He's uncontested, went to 94 CS, Bang gets combo, should be fine.
That's a missed time though. Of course, Niels had just used Q to clear the wave. If the communication was there, that's 300 free damage on a Bang.
Meanwhile, deep wards. SKT have been able to sneak them in on both sides. We just took a look at Bengi as he went over the back of Baron Pit. Bottom side was also warded up.
Yeah, if your jungle is compromised, you may as well move your jungle straight into the lane and deny Bang the opportunity to push this wave. That's what Amazing is doing
Going
right
for
now.
it.
We're gonna look for it. Nice buster shot to buy some time away from Amazing with a flash into the kick, into the Q. Wolf goes down. Well played. Summoner Heal keeps Amazing alive. And 2 kills now for Origen.
Love watching the original Lee Sin players. Junglers who have been playing this champion for so long. No hesitation there. Kicks him right into the wall for the stun. And Origen pick up another kill to even up the gold lead.
Meanwhile, one-on-one in the mid lane. Faker getting plenty of damage out. Flashes for the follow. Looks for Peke. Can't quite get the damage. But it is plenty dealt right now. Faker shoving the wave in.
Peke should be able to wave clear.
And another play to be made up at the top side. Rek'Sai already ulted down to the bot, so now it's the Shen ult to save MaRin. But plenty of slows come through. A great dodge on the equalizer. Soaz trying to get away. Will be taunted. Is burning down. Taking plenty of pain. 500 health still up. Walks away safe.
Great solo play there by Soaz to take down a long cooldown from SKT.
And the
Amazing.
team is still coming though.
His team's coming, but Soaz really, really well played. Still had Hexdrinker available to avoid that
They're going for the
barbecue there in
dive,
his top
too.
lane. Trying to turn that around. Wolf still stuck.
Oh, Peke just used his teleport mid.
And he's going to push in mid and deny some waves from Faker. If Faker walks top, though, he's going to lose a ton of gold out of the mid lane, so he's going to go back to that one. xPeke safe enough wave clearing this.
Peg has to be careful. This is a point where he's died a lot when his team is making a 3-man play on the top lane for a dive or a push, and he overextends just a slight, tiny bit to push that mid lane.
He should be hovering on the top side of the map because they just got deep wards in on SKT's blue side.
So they spot a lot of people. Bengi is noticed, but he sees Mithy.
SKT could actually opt for a dragon play too. MaRin, once he gets level 11 on Rumble, with Liandry's finished already, such a potent carry in dragon fights, especially with that rank 2 ultimate there on the equalizer.
Still some threat in the bottom lane. Wolf spotted. Here comes Bengi. Here comes Bang. Oh, the flash knockup. Niels ults and flashes out. Now Mithy's caught, but pops his own ultimate to stay alive. And all is well for the Origen duo lane. Bengi's time not rewarded.
Amazing is on bottom side as well. Maybe SKT try and force the dragon anyway. You can see what they're hoping for there. They try and go for the gank to gain advantage in the lane, at least chunk down the duo lane. But Origen actually very healthy and we're able to avoid that gank pretty well.
Faker starting to flex though in this lane. Tyr and Rod of Ages both done, and they're stacking up, and he's already starting to win some fights. Now Wolf getting attacked. Great kick, great knockup, beautiful play by Amazing. But now Mithy is caught out. He's on the wrong side of this fight. Niels can buy him a bit of time, but here comes Faker, here comes Bang. Good
Great
flash by Mithy. But now Amazing's on the wrong side of this fight. Faker's found him. Faker's got the damage. Faker gets the kill. A big mistake from Amazing.
Yeah, Amazing trying to collapse, but his mid laner Pekka was still clearing that wave there. Got a little greedy. Really solid kick move there. Isolating Wolf, but that was just...
I think that was Amazing getting greedy, not Peke.
No, definitely Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing's fault there. Just
their bottom lane
his
had
mid lane to
escaped.
come, but just gotta communicate.
And for every 2 good plays Origen makes, they make a bad one. SKT not as prone to those kinds of mistakes. You see that fight again.
This was so good though. The burst from the Brutalizer Lee Sin, full combo right there from Amazing. And they're able to get out after it. Mithy's going to flash the rocket jump here.
And then right here, Lulu just walks back up to the lane. Amazing's still going down.
It's probably just a little bit error in communication. He sees Pekka start the path thing. Usually then you extrapolate, well, in 10 seconds he can be there. I can bait Faker, another shield, EQ, to slow him down. Maybe we can collapse, but... I'll stem a dragon, and that's what Origen generally have been like. Really solid plays, a couple of nice ones in a row, but then they release the pressure. You can't choke somebody out if you give them some time to breathe every 5 seconds for every 30 seconds you choke them, because eventually they're not gonna pass out, whereas SKT, they'll just keep choking you and eventually you'll pass out.
And this is gonna be the next attempt for this one. MaRin has popped ulti, but with no minion wave there. Amazing, afraid of taking aggro. Does take a couple of harpoons to the backside, and MaRin navigates away from the 1v2. Now Mithy attacked by Bengi, and the Rumble's close by. Red buff is on, so Mithy slowed down. He's getting more and more damage, more and more health is gone, and a smite kills him off. Huge misplay, and now the fight continues. Peke also limps in. He shouldn't have. He goes down, 2 for 0. Bot lane turret dead as well, and it's getting worse.
Another dive here potentially on the hands of SKT. Really surprised that finish that part later, because Faker wants more.
He's gonna get more. Bengi's got aggro, MaRin's got the damage. Shen ult to make sure it's all fine and dandy, even though he's not at the tournament, and a double kill for MaRin.
Yeah, I'm surprised Mithy didn't opt to take the Scuttle Taxi home. Just W to the Scuttle Crab, then walk away, but he probably was afraid of a collapse there from Faker, but...
It felt to me like they were trying to bait, because he didn't immediately headbutt Rek'Sai away or anything there. So I think that Origen were trying to bait that in, and they thought he was alone for some reason.
It's not the case, and it's now a wide open game. SKT up nearly 4,000 gold already 17 minutes in. The games are getting worse and worse for Origen fans here. No turrets, no dragons. Very little to say for these guys.
Yeah, SKT they just capitalize so well off certain like minor, mistakes. Mithy basing in the enemy jungle, getting stopped, and then they want to turn that around. Just didn't quite get it, and really good roll from Faker. And Faker right now pulling ahead in this Lulu matchup already.
Forcing the flash away now, Amazing looking for the play, but Ghost makes him run pretty fast. Faker knocked back towards the turret, a great insect by Amazing, and it does become a kill. Again, good plays can happen for Origen, but they keep letting up the pressure.
Yeah, I really like Amazing's Lee Sin though. This is exactly what they needed. Some early ganks, some creative plays. He's simply perfect execution on that kick flash into xPeke, predicting it with the Q2. Probably wanted to see that more in game 1 and 2.
Meanwhile, they're able to gain an opening here. First turret down on bottom lane, and Soaz has presence on top side. So he's pushing in a minion wave himself. They just need to avoid confrontation in the middle of the map. Everybody's on the way top side, so Bengi's now the one who has to run away.
And he's going to. Bit of a Q there, not going to mean much from Soaz, who is going towards Frozen Mallet, so this Gnar slow machine will come out at some point. But Peke forced away by Faker, the 1v1 lane. The pressure from this Ryze, who's still scaling up, is going to mean mid lane outer could die soon. Here comes the teleports. Peke is back in action. Wolf taunts a little bit far, flashes as well. Now can the team catch back up? Niels has popped ulti, Mithy's coming around. Here's the auto attacks. And that's going to be the kill picked up. Nice one for Origen, 5 to 6 in kills. Now will they find more? Oh! A massive knockup by Mithy, and now forced to run backwards. He's already popped his own ult. Couple of heals come through, but Faker's back in action. Here's the equalizer to cut off the retreat, and Mithy will be an easy kill to pick up. MaRin's on a rampage, and Bang is on the chase.
And this, for me, is one of the most impressive traits that SKT have. They manage to very often turn around a bad situation into at least an even, if not a good one. They get 4v5, they still go for this fight now. Bengi canceling Amazing.
And they're gonna get that second kill. You said as good or better, and it's gonna be better. Now Niels forced to run away, flashing under his own turbo. Faker says, no thank you, I want this kill anyway. Make that 3 picked up. Now Soaz joins the fight and says, hey guys, make it 4. And they make it so. There we go. Massive lead SKT.
The way they juggle the tower aggro, re-engage, and turn around fights seemingly so easily 4v5. It just reminds me of that one push they did the last time they were at Worlds 2, taking like 3 towers, 1 inhibitor at 40-minute mark. They're just so good at this game.
They are, and especially the point you bring up about turning around a bad situation into a winning situation is so impressive, because so many teams, it's basic human nature to fall into the sunk cost fallacy, where you lose someone or someone on your team gets cost and you feel like you have to make up something in the situation because you've already invested something there, yet it's a low percentage play for you and you end up making it anyway. But SKT make those based off of the cooldowns already used by the enemies. Here's the continued chase here.
I mean, just complete commitment. Shen ulti pop to make sure they're all there to lock him down in time.
But look how calm and collected they play this too. Just perfect papping. Bang here finds xPeke, so that's what we didn't see on our screens. He drops out, or at least some tower aggro, Soaz drops eventually, then they take the tower. Cool, calm and collected. And SKT, they're just so good at waiting for some of you guys to drop, then win a 4v5. They've done it so many times. Or if you're doing Dragon, they pick one of you off.
It's actually pretty funny too, because that's something that like con men will use, and when trying to pull off a long con, that's a part of human psychology. They'll get you to invest a little bit before going off on the final take.
Take a loss so they can win more in the end.
They get the mark to feel like they have ownership of the situation.
SKT, great hustlers in this
Getting
one.
dark here.
Up 5,000 gold, taking Origen for all their worth.
Of that.
And now Faker is in. Soaz has no chance getting away. Hex Drinker, you barely even saw it. Faker missed the skill shot, but gets the solo kill all the same. And it might be more.
Well, Amazing's gonna be on the run here. Bengi's Tremor Sense does see Mithy as well.
And at this point, Origen's composition had a clear purpose and goal. Get Soaz ahead, 4-1 split push, then eventually go back into team fight. Soaz couldn't get ahead. First gang got sniffed out, then Bengi came back with a beautiful return gang, dropping the pink ward on the way out. That was one element of Origen's team coming forward, and then they couldn't make the other part work. The 4-man squad couldn't find an opening, couldn't find an on-the-hunt rush. Now SKT himself in prime position to take yet another win without dropping a single game.
It's impressive what SKT are accomplishing here at Worlds, but it's also impressive what Origen have accomplished this year. This is a team, well, let's see if Soaz can actually get a kill on Faker here.
Accomplishment.
Let's see.
Accomplishments, killing Faker has happened once so far this game. They might double it. Soaz chasing way too far.
I'll take Wolf instead.
right, well, less valuable kill.
Wolf is sacrificing his KDA.
But back to what Origen have accomplished this year. They've had such a crazy run. This is a team that was just formed. Peke put it back together. They worked their way all the way through the Challenger Series with goals of just being a mid-tier EU LCS team. And they've made it all the way to semifinals at Worlds.
Absolutely incredible. Definitely an amazing setup here by Origen. And a good run all said and done. SKT, of course, won a world championship in their rookie year as a team, so hard to beat that. And SKT looking for their second, actually, right here. Looking for their 12th win, their ticket into the grand final. The final without dropping a single game.
It's so hard right now for Origen to really come back. They're choked out of vision in their jungle. Baron's about to go down. They have almost no winning plays. And the few plays that they have where they get a tiny bit of advantage, they just invest too much. As we saw earlier, they get a kill on Wolf, but again, they can't capitalize on objective. Why not? Because SKT is always pushing you. Well, then you go for a fight. You just use too many ultis to kill the support. SKT will turn that around and use 4v5, so Origen pretty much drowning right now because there's so much vision that the only fights SKT is willing to take is winning fights right now.
Pretty much every fight SKT could take would be a winning one. They're up 8,000 gold now in this game. Looking to close out the series 3-0. It's only 24 minutes in and the lead is already this huge.
Origen just setting up the reverse sweep story to be that much more impressive, I feel.
And
They're hoping it's more than one best of 5, right? They're going to reverse sweep series.
Well,
next year.
SKT are closing the loop. Pressing in on all three. Oh, here comes a OG.
Ooh, nice kick back. Does knock up 2. A bit of damage from Soaz, but an equalizer.
They got
Doesn't
MaRin.
mitch much. Now MaRin. Zonia's Hourglass takes a bit of damage. A nice pick off there. A missed equalizer and a good capitalized by Origen.
Yeah, where's Faker in all this? He's I think Faker just took a red buff.
Not even that. He was just in the top side.
They were,
had to run back
they were
towards mid.
split pushing. They were pushing all 3 lanes. Now they collapse into mid though, baroned up minions, and they take it.
Oh, the long con 4v5. How about we push mid? How about they pick off Mithy as well? Lulu means nothing. More flash to run away, and Origen routed out of their own base in a fight that again started 4v5. And Faker finds another one. Soaz will try to reach Gnar and buy a bit more time for himself, but look at Bang. Look at his damage. Bengi will pull aggro. There's the flash. There's the kill. How about a couple more? Amazing goes down, and Bang refuses to be stopped there. 6-0 on 1 in this game. Bengi running away, thankful that minions are there to pull the aggro. And now a teleport comes in. MaRin wants Soaz, and he's gonna find him. Look at the flame spitter dealing all the damage, burning his little top hat to the ground, and Soaz will die. Potentially his last death of the World Championship as SKT are already onto the Nexus turrets. Niels goes down, 4-3, but it's not going to be enough. Faker wreaking havoc inside the base. There's turret number 2. There's no stopping him now. It's time for SKT to make it to the finals undefeated. No team has ever made it to the final without dropping a game. SKT could be not only the first double world champion, but the first undefeated world champion in history of the League World Championship.
Yeah, this match kind of embodied how a lot of people saw this entire series play out. Quick-paced game where just SKT outmatches, outmaneuvers Origen, but we can't forget, especially game 1, just Origen doing a lot of great things, giving SKT a run for their money, but now, especially in game 3, you saw the mental aspect way into, not on Niels, he's always smiling.
The mental aspect is key here. It's so taxing to play against a team like SK Telecom that are constantly pushing 3 lanes, constantly making cross-map plays. They force you to reevaluate the game state every couple of minutes and continue to pose these very difficult questions to you and force their enemy team to make decisions all game long. Eventually, make a wrong choice, and they punish you heavily for it.
You can hear the chants of SKT coming out from the crowd. You know these Belgian fans wanted their European team to win, but recognizing greatness where it's due.
I mean, if there's one team to lose against, as Origen in your first World Championship in the history of the team, because it only got created now, it may as well be a team that very well likely to win the entire tournament undefeated.
I mean, think about Origen as a team. The only best of fives they've ever lost as a team, short as the history may be, SK Telecom T1 in the finals now, and Fnatic in the European LCS final, who may also be finals bound. That's a very, very good first year for Origen. And this is the first year of professional play for Niels, that AD carry, so he's got room to go. Peke, of course, Season 1 World Champion, still has what it takes to play on this stage, but that will be the end of the year for these guys.
And it just shows you also just what